This is a 6-part series designed to help you prevent sexual harassment in your workplace. By engaging in this training, you are taking your first steps to being a helpful bystander who is ready to respond to any sexual harassment that you might observe. This training will prepare you to respond quickly and appropriately to sexual harassment so that you can contribute to making your workplace a positive place for everyone. Welcome to Sexual Harassment Prevention. This is Module 6, Additional Management Responsibilities. In order to create a culture of accountability, everyone from the stockroom to the boardroom must lead by example. The organization depends on leaders like you to reinforce a culture of trust and respect. Everyone needs to see that sexual harassment of any kind will not be tolerated at any level in the organization, and complaints will be taken seriously. It must be clear that even small instances of misconduct will be handled appropriately before that misconduct violates the law. If a case of sexual harassment is brought to your attention, identify it, address it fairly, and deal with it promptly. By treating everyone equally, you'll reduce your company's risk profile. And those risks include reduced employee morale and workplace conflict. That's going to lead to reduced productivity and an overall negative work environment. You'll start losing the hardworking employees that you need, all while exposing yourself to employment law violations, court costs, and damage to your good reputation. Responding appropriately is not your only responsibility as a leader. Build trust in the workplace by encouraging a speak-up philosophy so everyone is more willing to report sexual harassment. Think of the positive effects of a culture of trust and accountability. Increased job satisfaction and higher productivity can be expected. Reduced employee time away from work and improved employee health are likely. And a better workplace culture will certainly lead to greater employee retention. As a leader, you play a major role in enforcing your company's policies. Those policies support a productive workforce and reduce risks when they're followed correctly. Refer to your policy on reporting and addressing sexual harassment so you respond by taking the appropriate actions. Confidentiality is key when responding to a report of sexual harassment. Only share information with those who need to know, and always treat employees with respect. Here's a series of best practices when conducting a meeting with an employee who is reporting an incident, whether they're a bystander to the situation or a victim. Welcome the employee to a private setting and remain neutral in your reactions. Assure the individual you are ready to help and listen to the employee actively. Document everything you're told. Explain that retaliation will not be tolerated and remind them to personally document and report any kind of retaliation. Finally, review the notes you've taken with the employee to be sure your documentation is accurate and let the employee know what actions you'll take next. Do not let victims feel they are to blame, but keep in mind they may need to be reminded of certain company policies themselves. Review any related policies addressing employee conduct so they can stay on the safe side of the issue. Examples of policies you may want to refer to include absenteeism and tardiness, breaks and lunch requirements, as well as cell phone use may also be relevant. You could touch on policies like blogging, social media use, and email and internet use depending on the situation. Additional things like corporate ethics code, pay time off, and even your weapons policy may need mentioning as well. You may have questions after the meeting regarding the validity of the claim or how to proceed. Review your company's policies on reporting sexual harassment incidents and follow up on your report to ensure it's being addressed. Consult with your human resources department on all questionable matters. In recent years, social media has raised the awareness of the prevalence of sexual harassment. These campaigns have led to more claims being made publicly than ever before. Unfortunately, some employees may choose to make claims against your company on social media. If this occurs, Leaders should meet privately with the person who made the post. Avoid making them feel like they're being punished for reporting harassment, even if they have violated the company's social media policy. Then review your policies on employee use of social media when mentioning your company, and review your policies on reporting incidents to ensure steps are clear and easily followed. Finally, start an investigation even though it wasn't reported correctly or with documentation. Anonymous complaints can also occur, but they may lack the documentation or details needed to launch a solid investigation. It is your responsibility to take all claims seriously. Follow through to the best of your abilities. Prepare yourself for questions from your employees and other staff. You have responsibilities to the organization and those involved to keep confidential details confidential. Stop rumors to prevent retaliation and protect all victims, bystanders, and witnesses. Communicate to employees so they know the matter was addressed in the most appropriate way. Reinforce that the sort of behavior being investigated is not tolerated, and a record of these efforts is especially important if the case is made public. Handle retaliation appropriately because it can have a serious impact on the business. Review the types of direct retaliation that occur through job assignments or employee bullying and violence. Avoid any responses that may be considered unfair. Consult with human resources if you think changing work assignments is necessary, but only do so when the victim will not be harmed by the change. Watch for indirect retaliation in the form of rumors, alienation, or labeling the victim as a troublemaker. Offer any and all other resources available through your company or in the community to help the victim work through this situation. You may refer them to an employee assistance program or recommend other benefits available through your company or healthcare provider. Lead by example. Take complaints seriously and deal with them appropriately. Be neutral when discussing the harassment and assure those involved that these conversations will remain confidential. Respond according to company policy and reach out to your HR department for guidance. They're there to help. Protect your employees from potential retaliations to keep the matter from getting worse. And finally, offer resources employees may use as they work through the situation.